वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Reading, studying, and discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 14, text number 50. Antarbahishchamalam abjanetram स्वपुरुषे चानुगृहीतरूपम् पौत्रस्तव श्रीललनाललामं द्रष्टा स्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डिताननम् अन्तर्बहिश्चामलम् अब्जनेत्रं स्वपुरुषे चानुगृहीतरूपं पौत्रस्तव श्रीललनाललामं द्रष्टा स्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डिताननम् अन्तर्बहिश्चामलम् अब्जनेत्रं स्वपुरुषे चानुगृहीतरूपं पौत्रस्रवश्रीललनाललामं द्रष्टा स्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डिताननम्. Please recite.
Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, yes, I'm very mute.
Oh, you can do.
It's okay. अन्तर्बहिश्चामलम् अब्जनेत्रम् स्वपुरुषयेच्छानुग्रहितरूपम् पुत्रास्त्वश्रीललनाललामम् द्रष्टा स्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डिताननम्. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
अन्तर्बहिश्चामलम् अब्जनेत्रं स्वपुरुषेच्छानुगृहतारूपम् पौत्रस्ततव श्रीललना ललामम् द्रष्टा स्फुरत् कुण्डलमण्डिताननाम्. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
दर्बहिश्चामलम् अब्जनेत्रं स्वपुरुषेच्छनुगृहीतरूपं पौत्रस्तव श्रीललनाललामं द्रष्टा स्फुरत्कुण्डलमण्डिताननम्.
Antarbahishchaamalam abjanetram swapurushechanugrahitarupam putrastava shri lalalana lalamam dristas puratkundalamanditannanam.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay. We'll move to the synonyms, translation, and purport. Antaha, within. Bahi, without. Cha, also. Amalam, spotless. Abjanetram, lotus eyes. Swapurusha, own devotee. Ichha, anugrahita rupam, accepting form according to desire. Pautraha, grandchild. Tava, your. Sri Lalana, beautiful goddess of fortune. Lalamam, decorated. Drashtha, will see. Spurat Kundala, with brilliant earrings. Mandita, decorated. Ananam, face. Your grandson will be able to see inside and outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose wife is the beautiful goddess of fortune. The Lord can assume the form desired by the devotee, and his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings. Purport: it is predicted herewith that the grandson of Diti, Prahlada Maharaj, would not only see the personality of Godhead within himself by meditation, but would also be able to see him personally with his eyes. This direct vision is possible only for one who is highly elevated in Krishna consciousness. For the Lord is not possible to see with material eyes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead as multifarious, eternal forms such as Krishna, Baladeva, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Narayana, Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, and Vamana. And the devotee of the Lord knows all those Vishnu forms. A pure devotee becomes attached to one of the eternal forms of the Lord, and the Lord is pleased to appear before him in the form desired. A devotee does not imagine something whimsical about the form of the Lord, nor does he ever think that the Lord is impersonal and can assume a form desired by the non devotee. The non devotee has no idea of the form of the Lord, and thus he cannot think of any one of the above mentioned forms. But whenever a devotee sees the Lord, he sees him in a most beautifully decorated form, accompanied by his constant companion, the goddess of fortune, who is eternally beautiful. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स पदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,
हरे
हरे राम
राम
राम राम हरे
हरे।
हरे। ओम श्रीपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते सच्चिदानंद स्वामी नित्यानंद नित्यानंद परिप्रेष्ठ दीनपुत्री कृपा कविधरि संकीर्तन शरण। Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining, and thank you for giving me this very wonderful opportunity to speak from the Srimad Bhagavatam, primarily for my own purification. I'm very grateful. And before I speak, I seek blessings and permission from all of the assembled Vaishnavas. Thank you. So I'll read the translation again. Your grandson will be able to see inside and outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose wife is the beautiful goddess of fortune. The Lord can assume the form desired by the devotee, and his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings. Very beautiful verse, and Prabhupada gives a very beautiful purport for this verse. So, these last few verses we have been reading, hearing, and discussing about the glories of Sri Prahlad Maharaj. Kashyapa Muni is pacifying Mother Diti and is telling her that her grandson Prahlad, how great of a devotee he will be. So his glories are being discussed. And this is the penultimate verse of this chapter. And Kashyapa Muni is concluding these glories of Prahlad Maharaj, his wonderful qualities. Previous verses described about all the wonderful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. And in this verse, Srila Prabhupada in the purport is explaining how one gets all those wonderful qualities, you know. So the verse is Antar Bahis. So Antar means inside and Bahi means outside, right? So he's saying you'll be able to perceive, he will be able to, Prahlad Maharaj will be able to perceive the Lord inside and outside, internally and externally. And his and is Amalam, spotless. And Purusha Ichanugrahita Rupam. He will see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who for his devotee, Icha means by the desire of the devotee. So he accepts a form, Anugrahita Rupam. He accepts a form desired by the devotee. This Kashyapa is telling Mother Diti. Uh, he'll be such a devotee that he'll have a darshan of the Lord directly. He'll see the beautiful form of the Lord decorated with beautiful ornaments. It's very amazing how this is possible. That is, that a devotee, all these wonderful qualities of Prahlad, and how one is able to develop, or a devotee is able to develop all these beautiful Vaishnava qualities and be able to see the beautiful form of the Lord inside and outside. It's not easy, but by intense practice of Krishna consciousness, a devotee naturally becomes full of those great qualities. In many places, we see in the Bhagavatam and especially in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, these different qualities of different devotees are described. You know, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, you know, how these good qualities manifest in the body of a Vaishnava. And, and through these qualities, you can distinguish who is a Vaishnava and who is not a Vaishnava. Uh, like how, of course, in the context of Prahlad Maharaj, but in general also, how some of these qualities, like, how a devotee is very kind to everyone, and he does not make anyone his enemy. He is equal to everyone, you know, he is truthful. Uh, no one can find any fault with him. He's very peaceful, he's always surrendered to Krishna, 100% attachment to Krishna. So all these qualities are discussed. Yeah. The point here is some devotees manifest some qualities more than the others. But Krishna is very pleased with these different qualities of his devotees. And actually, some of these qualities that I just mentioned, we can, I'm talking to myself, I can see if I'm making any advancement in Krishna consciousness by how much I'm developing these qualities of a Vaishnava. Yeah. And in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada explains that by developing, so what? Should we go about, and trying to develop each of these qualities separately? Yes, some effort is required, but Prabhupada explains that by developing pure devotion to Krishna, all the good qualities will come to the devotee. There's a very, very, very nice and personally to me very, very inspiring story that Srila Prabhupada gives, quoting the Skanda Purana about the hunter Mrigari. Yeah. How he was converted or reformed into a great devotee under the instruction of Narada Muni. Some of you may know the story, but I felt the details of the story are so nice and so inspiring that so many different qualities manifest. Um, and this hunter Mrigari, he was trapping animals and leaving these animals half killed. And one day when Narada Muni was returning from Vaikuntha, he was passing through that forest, and he saw, oh, what's happening here on the path. He saw all these half-killed animals struggling, on the verge of, death. You see how painful and miserable that is if somebody is half killed. Yeah. So, and when he was approaching the hunter, all the animals that the hunter had trapped or were caught in that hunter's traps, they all fled away. And this Mrigari hunter became very angry at this. He in fact actually was was almost going to very rudely, in very choicest words, be very harsh to Narada Muni. But just the presence of Narada Muni, a pure devotee, made him to control himself. And he says, "Oh, why have you come here while I'm hunting? You know, did you lose your way? And because you came here, all the animals that I was trying to trap have fled away." So Narada Muni replies, I'm sorry, but I came to inquire from you because on the way here I've seen so many animals half killed. I saw some boars, some deer, some rabbits, all lying on the forest, half dead. Uh, who is committing all these sinful acts? Uh, and the hunter Mrigari replies, oh, I did it. It's okay, it's not a big deal. I did it. Then Narada Muni says, if you're hunting them, why don't you just kill them at once? Yeah. You're half killing them and they're so much in pain. And this is a very, very big sin that you're committing. Uh, um, and the hunter says, Mrigari replies to Narada Muni, oh, this is what my father taught me to half kill, and I get a lot of pleasure in it. Then Narada Muni, literally requests, pleads him, I have one request for you. If you really want to kill, just totally kill them. Okay. Um, uh, but long story short, the hunter, his heart is transformed. Uh, because Narada Muni explains to him, look, killing itself is a great sin. On top of it, half killing is a very big sin, and you are going to pay a heavy price for this. So his heart gets transformed, softens, and because he becomes afraid of the reactions, and by the association of a great devotee like Narada, he says, okay, how can I purify myself for all the sins that I have committed? Then Narada Muni, says, I'm going to teach you. So he says, give away everything that you have in your house. Give away everything. And then just come to me with a bare cloth. And he makes him, build a small thatched house, plants a tulsi, and says, circumambulate this tulsi. Any leaf that drops, taste the tulsi, and most importantly, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And so he's prior to that, he was also a little afraid where will his food and grains come from. He says, don't worry, I'll arrange for all that. And Narada Muni arranges, and everybody finds out that this hunter has now become a devotee, and the whole people in the nearby village all come and give some grains. But then, after some time, Narada Muni and his friend, they decide to come see Parvata Muni, his friend. They come, say, okay, let's go see my disciple, how he's doing. So they come, and when they are coming to this transformed Regari's home, and seeing Narada Muni and Parvata Muni coming from a distance, this Mrigari, he wanted to go greet them, these two sages, and guess what? He sees that there are ants on the ground before him who were, kind of stopping him, hindering his path. Uh, so, um, so he wanted to bow down and offer his obeisances to Narada Muni and Parvata Muni. So what does he do? He very carefully uses his cloth, his dhoti, to clear away all the ants. See, this hunter who was half killing animals mercilessly and taking pleasure out of it after becoming a great devotee by the association of an exalted personality, now does not even want to kill the life of an ant. Meaning he does not want to give pain to anyone, not even an ant. So this I thought was a very, very, you know, nice story relevant to today's verse. So that this was a wonderful transformation of the hunter by devotional service. Yeah, um, because anybody who develops this devotional attitude has all the good qualities manifested in him, and a devotee is never a cause of distress to anyone. Mm. So, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada also mm, makes another point, uh, giving the example of vegetarianism. You know, of course, being a vegetarian is better than being a non vegetarian, but just because of that, Srila Prabhupada, he didn't start a propaganda for vegetarianism, right? Said, oh, if you try to make devotees of Krishna, and when they become devotees, automatically they'll become vegetarians. Yeah. Otherwise, all these qualities without Krishna consciousness, without Krishna, all these qualities are not special. Just being a vegetarian is not great. I mean, yes, it's better than being a non-vegetarian, but some animals are also there which are vegetarians. Monkeys are vegetarians, pigeons are vegetarians. So the real thing is to be attached to Krishna. In the case of this vegetarianism, the real thing is to be attached to Krishna Prasadam. uh, be a lover of Krishna Prasadam. Uh, Srila Prabhupada once uh, laughingly to his disciples and devotees, he said, I caught you all by prasadam. So there are many, many prasad leelas. I also heard that in the I don't know if it's still happening, but in the beginning years there was a section in the magazine where confessions of a prasadam addict. You know, so there would be where devotees would wake up early in the morning and try to steal Mahaprasadam. You know, so this is not recommended. We are talking about the good qualities of devotees. Yeah? But these wonderful qualities are decorations of a devotee. So we see that all devotees, as they go on advancing, they develop these wonderful qualities. So when people come to devotees, they know more about the devotees. They may have known them before many years back, but after becoming, serious in Krishna consciousness, when people come and know more about the devotees, they'll know it's not just the outside dress that has changed, but our qualities, that we are different people. You know? Srila Prabhupada used to describe how people would come to him and ask, are these American people? Are these people your followers? We have never seen such happy people. So it's how Krishna consciousness and attachment to pure devotees transforms and all the wonderful qualities manifest in devotees. So here it's discussed that Prahlad Maharaj was a very special soul, and Srila Prabhupada talked many times about Prahlad Maharaj and his glories. Prahlad Maharaj was able to see the Lord inside and outside. And if we think about the qualification of Prahlad to see Lord Vishnu inside and out, what was so special? So that his sadhana was in remembering Lord Vishnu. He was always 24/7 meditating on Lord Vishnu. You know, if we read in the seventh canto during Hiranyakashipu's reign, There was so much harassment, right? The Brahmanas weren't allowed to do yagyas. Uh, it was opposite. People who were committing sinful activities were rewarded, and those who were intending or doing pious activities were punished. Yeah. And this Prahlad was living in the same room as Hiranyakashipu, I'm sorry. Yeah. And he was the only one who could challenge his father and incite him. And Hiranyakashipu tried to torture him so many ways, poison him, starve him, try to burn him, so many other ways. And in each instance, Prahlad never thought, not even for a moment, he thought, why is this happening to me? Or what did I deserve? What did I do to deserve this? Right? Generally, the first question that comes to mind is, why me? I'm such a nice person. I deserve better, right? But Prahlad never thought, why is this happening to me? He just took shelter of Lord Vishnu each and every time. And even when Hiranyakashipu was killed, Lord wanted to give a boon, and Prahlad didn't want anything. He said, "This is not a business transaction, my dear Lord." Uh, but when Lord insisted, what was Prahlad? What did he ask? Anyone remembers? What did he ask?
To give liberation to his
Father.
father.
Yes, yes, please liberate my father. So Lord Nrsingadev uh, in the seventh canto refers to Prahlad as best of the 12 Mahajanas. Mahajanas are devotees authorized by the Lord who know the signs of God. So in the seventh canto, 10th chapter, text 21, that chapter is titled Prahlad, the best among exalted devotees. Uh, uh, भवन्ति पुरुषा लोके मद्भक्तास्त्वाम अनुव्रता भवान में खलु भक्तानाम सर्वेषां प्रतिरूपधृक्. So Nrsingadev is saying about Prahlad, those who follow your example will naturally become my pure devotees. You are the best example of my devotee, and others should follow in your footsteps. Mm. So all these great devotees are listed in the Bhagavatam in different places. Yeah, Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kapila, Manu, so many others. But Prahlad Maharaj is understood to the best example. Mm. And why and how could he see the Lord inside and out? Because the Lord blessed him. Icha anugrahita rupa. It was the desire, and the Lord granted it. The Lord blessed Prahlad. Why? Because he was always remembering Lord Vishnu. And thus, because he was blessed by the Lord, he was able to see Lord inside and outside. So the question comes us, so what about us? So Srila Prabhupada gave one instruction, many instructions, but one instruction uh, that his Guru Maharaj Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said was, don't try to see God. You work in such a way that God will see us. God will take care. Don't try to see God. So Srila Prabhupada thought, in Kali Yuga, as fallen conditioned souls, uh, I cannot see the Lord with my material eyes. Uh, but we can see through the eyes of the pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada gave us the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Uh, Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave us Brahma Samhita. Yeah, so many temples to see the Lord. So his beautiful form, Archa Vigraha form, is there in the temple. Yeah. His name, his form, Janma Karma Chame Divyam are all are same. By seeing the deities daily at home and in the temple, we can meditate on the Lord. And by seeing the beautiful form, by meditating on the Lord, we can purify our heart. So we can see the Lord. And the other important point that Prabhupada is making here is that, that Lord has a form, you know. And see, Prahlad was able to see Antar Bahis inside and outside. It's not possible for everyone because, as I said, uh, if on one side we are saying, right, that our material eyes we cannot see the Lord. So that means Prahlad Maharaj, because of his purification, he not only had material eyes, but he also had his spiritual eyes awakened. That's why he could, and because of his devotion, Lord could appear whenever the devotee wants to see. The Lord appears. Mm. Uh, see, seeing within himself by meditation is one thing, but to be able to see him personally with his eyes, that's very, very advanced. That's like having spiritual and material eyes coexisting in this material world. It's not easy. It's only possible for very, very advanced souls. Great devotees with pure devotion can only see. Mm. And meaning, this is not imagination. Seeing the Lord with his eyes means it's not imagination. This is real form of the Lord. And that's why that word used is Icha Anugrahita Rupam, real form of the Lord. Because Lord is willing to come before the devotee. Yeah. If I come in front of one of you, maybe Mother Vindhyavali, there is no choice whether to be seen or not, right? Unless she chooses to close her eyes,
No,
right? But in transcendental realm, everything is based on love and free will.
that's true.
And the other important thing is the devotee doesn't uh, wish that Lord must come in front of me. Lord should come in front of me. No, he just expresses or wishes his desire. Wish.
Yeah.
Because the devotee very well knows that Lord has to bless to see that form. Icha is there, but only if the Lord blesses, then he will come in front of me. And this is true with any incarnation of the Lord, including the holy name of the Lord. Uh, so we should seek blessing of that particular incarnation of the Lord, uh, and we don't know how the Lord will show His mercy. We should seek blessing to touch our spiritual senses, because ultimately it is the mercy, it's the blessing of the Lord. Yeah, we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The sound incarnation of the Lord. But it is His wish how to come and impact us. How He will impact my senses, my soul, how He will purify me, or whatever, how He will inspire transcendental knowledge, how it will help me in detachment to material things or things that are not favorable to me, how it will inspire love for Him. All these are only possible by His blessings, through the blessings of the Lord. Anugrah. Yeah. Otherwise, Athas Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Graham Indriyai Sevan Muke Hi Jivado. Yeah, we cannot capture the Lord by Graham, means by our Indriyas. We cannot capture the name, form, or mercy of the Lord. It is bestowed upon us by our prayers, by begging. It is bestowed upon us because this is so opposite to what we we experience and get in this material world, right? You see many places people write so and so earned his PhD, right? From this university, he earned this degree, right? In the spiritual realm, there's no question of earning that way. That hey, I deserve it. I want no. Devotee is always in the mood of humility, seeking the favor of the Lord. That's his place. Humble and seeking favor. That is our constitutional position. Because whatever it is, we are tiny parts and parcel of the Lord and don't possess anything. Maybe, even by the mercy of the Lord and His pure devotees, you can say, I am spirit soul, I'm servant of Krishna. That's all I can. But everything is bestowed by Krishna, right? This is the spirit of the living entity that I am not the proprietor, I am not the controller. Including myself, I belong to Krishna. So, in that mood, anugrahita rupam. One will be blessed, one has to be blessed to see that transcendental form of the Lord. Yeah. The other point Prabhupada makes in this purport, he's talking about the different forms, right? He gives some examples. Uh, Lord has how many forms? How many forms does the Lord have? Unlimited form.
Unlimited.
Right? Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam.
Antarupam.
Yes. And they are none different from each other. Lord has multifarious eternal forms. Yeah. The pure devotee, Prabhupada writes, become attached to one of the Vishnu forms. And Lord is pleased to appear in that particular form. Uh, so, due to particular attachment, when one is attached to a particular form, that doesn't mean other forms are not relevant to him. It is just a question of attachment, the same personality. For example, I have a father, yeah, my biological father, for the sake of example. Yeah, if I'm attached to my father, and that does not mean I deny my father's role as a husband or as a son, or I cannot deny the personal feature of my father as a father of his other children, of my brothers, or as an uncle, right? I have a particular attachment. That doesn't mean there are no other uh, forms or roles that my father has to play, right? So, same way, Lord has unlimited forms according to unlimited leelas, and all forms are very beautiful. As Prabhupada writes in the translation, his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings. Huh? So, this transcendental knowledge we need to have, this understanding that Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam, that Lord has unlimited eternal forms. All forms are beautiful. Is based on that, maybe one can choose a particular form and be attached, but with the understanding that the Lord has many other forms and many other activities. The reason is, then Prabhupada explains subsequently in the purport that the devotee doesn't imagine something whimsical. He's talking about how the Mayavadis say the Lord has impersonal energy and he takes any form. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam. In the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, right? This, um, foolish people think that the absolute truth is impersonal and from that material forms are coming. This is all imagination. And Lord's form is not imagination, right? Uh, what is that? Anantaru Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam cha Vedeshu Durlavam Adurlamam Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Adyam Purana Purusham. No, not that from impersonal, these forms, some personal forms are coming. No, they're all coming from Navayauvanam cha, Adi Purusha. They are coming from that. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadhiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. It is he, that Sarvakarana Karam, that Govinda who is expanding as Balarama, Baladeva, Sankarshana, Narsingha, Narayana. It is he who is expanding as Garbhodakasai Vishnu, Kshirodakasai Vishnu. The original form is Krishna. Then different avatars in different kalpas, yugas, all these unlimited forms are coming. That that oneness and spiritual difference we have to remember. Yeah. And his form, the other speculation that people do is, oh, because I have this kind of form, so Lord also has a material form. No. In the Brahma Samhita, it's explained Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Right? He is this Krishna, the supreme controller, Paramakrishna. Yeah? Ishvara Paramakrishna. He is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He has an eternal, blissful, and spiritual body. That's why we accept. This is the Vedic pronouncement. So we accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. But those who are in the mode of ignorance and passion, they try to imagine different forms, speculate the form of God. And when they cannot understand, then they say, oh, there is no personal God, or God is impersonal or void, right? So that we see so many ways, so many different places it's explained. Krishna, the absolute truth, is from whom everything emanates. And we all have, we see different forms around us. We all have different bodies. Where are they coming from? Right? If God is not having a form, how can we have a form? If God is not a person, how can his sons be persons? Yeah. Uh, my father was void, formless. You think I would have had a form? So, so people try to speculate and imagine, and they conclude. Hmm? So, the because this material forms is temporary, is troublesome, so they conclude God is formless. Because all the forms that people mostly see are temporary, right? And they are perishing. So they conclude God is formless. Yeah. So we cannot compare the Lord's form to our material body. Uh, so, um, and uh, and the only way we can understand is through Sevan Mukhehi Jivadav. Because our senses are imperfect. We cannot understand somebody who is perfect, who is supremely perfect. So, only by proper training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, right? Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te gnanam gnaninas tattvadarshina. By humbly rendering service and inquiring submissively, because spiritual master has realized tattva darshina, so he can guide us. Yeah. So we come to that understanding and are able to see and understand God. Uh, Otherwise, with impure and imperfect senses, we cannot. The example is given of cataract. Uh, so one who has severe cataract, and they are they able to see? And just because they are not able to see, does that mean nothing exists? Just because I cannot see God, we conclude that there is no God, or God is formless. But when our cataract is nicely removed, then we can see. Yeah. Prema, so Brahma Samhita explains, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayesha Vilokayanti. Yeah. So the devotees, Premanjana Churita, whose eyes are anointed with the ointment of love of God, they can see God within their hearts 24 hours a day. So purification of the senses is required. Then we can understand Atha Sri Krishna Nama, the name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Then we will be able to see God everywhere and in everything. Uh, so, and it's not possible by our own endeavor. Also, this is another important point. Only when the Lord shows His mercy, then He will reveal Himself to us. Like the example is given of if it is night, yeah, I want to see the sun. Even if I hold a torchlight outside, can I see the sun? No. I have to wait when the sun rises on its own will, then I can see the sun. Yeah. So we have to purify our senses and wait for the time when God will be pleased to reveal Himself to us. This is the process, not by challenging or saying, okay, I give you 2 minutes proof God exists. Lord is not our servant. When He is pleased, we will see Him. So the whole process of Krishna consciousness is to please Krishna so that He'll reveal Himself to us. Yeah. Um, I mean, yes, it's very advanced stage. Uh, uh, so right now, we follow the instructions of the spiritual master, serve deities at the home and in the temple and wherever practically possible, and develop attachment to the deities we are serving. And slowly, the deities will reveal us, will show us the way, which form we are more attached to. Yeah. And the other important point is this bhakti, you know, there is some price to pay, and that is sacrifice. So, without giving up, without sacrificing, particularly our attachments, we cannot be eligible to develop love for Krishna. So, bhakti should be accompanied by sacrifice. Otherwise, it's just imitation. Yeah. When love is accompanied by sacrifice, otherwise, just saying I love you means really just a sentiment. Yeah. But when you accompany that with sacrifice by serving the Lord in spite of all the inconveniences, then that is pure bhakti. So our feelings should transform into actions. Right? If we love someone, then we should serve them. So uh, slowly through the process of Krishna consciousness, by serving the lotus feet of the spiritual master, all the ignorance will be destroyed, and we will be able to come to the platform of pure Krishna consciousness. So, Hare Krishna, I'll stop here. Um, Thank you so much for the opportunity, and please correct me if I've made any mistakes. I beg for forgiveness. Also, I thought we could read just a couple of verses. I noted that in the calendar, or at least in the speaker's turn, it was the Pavali, right? So I didn't prepare much for that, but I thought there are a couple of verses where Srila Prabhupada talks about the Pavali. Maybe we can read those two verses, if that's okay. since we have a few minutes. One is from Madhya Leela 15.36, Chaitanya Charitamrit. Any Bengali devotees or one who knows Bengali can recite, please. And any volunteers for reading the translation and purport. There are 2 verses, that's all. Any volunteers for the Bengali?
Not sloka.
I see Narsinga Praladishwar Prabhu is there. Are you there, Prabhu, or are you busy in service?
I am doing service, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol. Okay.
Let me go to some other place and try. Okay.
Just this one.
One minute, Prabhu.
Okay.
এই মতো রাসযাত্রা আর দীপাবলি উত্থান দ্বাদশী যাত্রা দেখিলা সকলি.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any volunteers for reading the translation and purport?
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees participated in all the festivals, including Rasa Yatra, Deepavali, and Utthana Dwadashi.
Please read the purport also.
The Deepavali festival takes place on the dark moon night in the month of Kartika, October-November. The Rasa Yatra or Rasa dance of Krishna takes place in the full moon night of the same month. Uttana Dwadashi takes place the day after Ekadashi in the waxing moon fortnight of the moon. In the same month, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu participated in all these festivals.
Very nice. Thank you. There is Sri Shukavacha. Oh, maybe somebody else. Anyone? Any volunteers? This is Sanskrit.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Ekada Griha Datsishu Yashodananda Gehini Karmantara Nyuktasu Nirmam Swayam Dadi Yani Yani Gitani Tadupala Charitani Cha Dadi Nirmantane Kale Smaranti Tanya Agayata.
Thank you. Maybe you can also read the translation and purport.
Sri Shukdev Goswami continued, one day when Mother Yashoda saw that all the maid servants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all those activities. Sri Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, quoting from the Vaishnav Toshni of Srila Sanatan Goswami, says that the incident of Krishna's breaking the pot of yogurt and being warned by Mother Yashoda took place on the Deepavali day, or Deep Malika. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very gorgeously in the month of Kartik by fireworks and lights, especially in Bombay. It is to be understood that among all the cows of Nand Maharaj, several of Mother Yashoda's cows ate only grasses so flavorful that the grasses would automatically flavor the milk. Mother Yashoda wanted to collect the milk from those cows, make it into yogurt, and churn it into butter personally. Since she thought that this child Krishna was going to the houses of neighborhood gopas and gopis to steal butter because he did not like the milk and yogurt ordinarily prepared.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank
Okay,
you.
maybe somebody else can read the next last paragraph. Anyone else?
While churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing about. If somebody wants to. Somebody wants to do? Okay, Bhavagrahi Janadana, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. While churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing about the childhood activities of Krishna. It was formerly a custom that if one wanted to remember something constantly, he would transform it into poetry or have this done by a professional poet. It appears that Mother Yashoda did not want to forget Krishna's activities at any time. Therefore, she poeticized all of Krishna's childhood activities, such as the killing of Putana, Agasura. Let me just make this a little bigger, sorry.
Sakatasura.
And Trinivarta. And while churning the butter, she sang about these activities in poetical form. This should be
The practice of.
the practice of persons eager to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. This incident shows how Krishna conscious Mother Yashoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. Sorry, I was on my phone. It was a little.
No problem, Prabhu. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
I'm also
Thank
on
you.
call. Prabhuji, what shloka is this? What verse?
10th canto, 9th chapter, text 1 and 2.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
Yes. This pastime happened on the Deepavali day. Yeah, that's why I
Mm.
thought. I'm sure we heard several times, but thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Um,
Hare Krishna.
any corrections, additions, comments? I see Dronacharya Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay, he's on the train. Okay, anyone else? Any corrections, comments,
No,
reflections?
no corrections, but the Murugari's story was very good. And that that some of the prayers also, Antarbahitsa tat sarvam vyapta narayana sthitaha. They say, so he is everywhere. Narayana is everywhere. It's not that here, there. Like that in Prahlad Prabhu. That's what he did. So when Hiranyakashipu asked, where is he? Where is he? So he said, he is everywhere. So that's what we should feel, that when I see the birds and trees at the backyard, I always see that he's everywhere, and look at his creation and everything. So it's very, very nice to think about it. If we think that nature, everything is he's created and he is there. So that's what I felt all the time. I feel all the time.
Very good points, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. Yes, actually, you mentioned about Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. Yeah, you see, one could see the Lord in the pillar and
Yeah,
one could not see.
one could not see. See, both people are there.
Yeah, and
So
also, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
that was really something we could see. If we want to see, we can see in trees and birds and all the flowers everywhere. Some flowers are fragrant and beautiful. See, so that is also nature.
Yes, yes. Prabhupada explains that when you see a flower, you see the beautiful artwork in there,
Yeah,
and you remember Krishna. When you hear a bird singing, so
yeah,
you see how Krishna has given a beautiful voice, how Krishna is singing through this bird. So, yes, when you see these tall architectures, you see they are made of the five material elements
yeah.
coming from Krishna. So, yes, yes, a devotee sees everybody through Krishna. Sees
Thank you very much,
Krishna
Prabhu,
in everything.
class today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. I found this class really very inspiring. I like the example of cataract in the eyes. So when we remove the cataract, then only we can. It doesn't mean that God is not there when we have cataract, but when the cataract is removed, then we see the God. So with devotional service only, we can see God. This was really nice example and it's very inspiring. Hare
I,
Krishna.
I, I had the practical experience with cataract surgery. Before, it was so blurred. I could see, but I can see a foggy kind of thing. And when I had the surgery, they put a lens implanted in my both eyes. I can see new life. I can see the nature. I can see everywhere. I see that this much good thing I could see. That makes a lot of difference. That cataract thing, like that. That fog has to get out, what we can see God. It's very, very hard. So with the devotion only we can see.
Yeah, I see Dronacharya Prabhu has made a comment and a question. Uh, Sometimes we speak that we are depositing in spiritual bank account each mantra, each service. Karthik, we get bonus points. So it's natural to get this feeling we are earning through our sadhana. How to keep this in the proper perspective? Oh, yeah, very good question. Um, so one thing that Krishna is well, I'll just share my thoughts on this. One thing is that uh, Krishna always sees our enthusiasm. Mm. So just like Suman Mataji was reading, you know, Krishna allowed Mother Yashoda to be tied up
Mm.
only because of her endeavor, her enthusiasm, and her perseverance to serve. Yeah. So um, Krishna sees that. So we're doing that also for his pleasure. Yeah. But ultimately, it's Krishna's mercy. So even if we, you know, get all this, do all this, but ultimately, only when Krishna agrees to give his mercy, he appears in the heart of his devotees. Yeah, but we should take every opportunity, whether it is as Prabhuji is mentioning here, right? Every opportunity to engage in devotional service in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. Every opportunity, we should be very enthusiastic. And if we are very enthusiastic, uh, uh, that will help us to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, but we should always remember or be humble, as I said, ultimately, that uh, no matter how much we do, what we do, it's ultimately Krishna's mercy.
That's
Without His mercy, we are not going anywhere. Um, so, um, yes, Krishna wants to see our endeavor, our efforts. He wants us to be very enthusiastic, but that doesn't, uh, but that desperation for His mercy, for longing for Him, uh, longing for His mercy, that is what attracts Him. Yeah. I don't know, does that answer your question, Dronacharya Prabhu? But that's my limited understanding. How to, that we should always remain humble and be enthusiastic and do as much as we can practically. But doing all of this is to purify ourselves. So we develop taste for Krishna consciousness, we increase our enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness, but ultimately be grounded and humble with the understanding that it is ultimately the Lord's mercy, without which we are not going anywhere. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Maybe somebody else has some comments or additions to Dronacharya Prabhu's question. Very nice question. No? Okay. We'll end here. It's already 9:05. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wish you all a very happy, auspicious Deepavali. May the Lord uh, uh, destroy all the ignorance with that shining lamp of knowledge in our hearts. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Pancha kalpatarubhyascha
Yasya kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam
Ram
pavanebhyo
Bhavani
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Namaha.
Hare Krishna.